get a little crazy and you get like launch idle.
Yeah.
And things get a little nuts and then they have to get toned down. But for the most part, the amount of tools and a unique character has, or every unique character has in Killer Instinct is ridiculous. Like,
and
you
it's
have
fun.
so much, and that's what makes them fun.
Yeah.
That's what makes every character in KI really fun.
If you take away tools and stuff like that, then you lose that fun, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you want. You want a game full of fun, kind of crazy stuff. And if you think about a game where you're just like playing like, you know, and you're like, well, I have 5 moves, and 2 of them are good, so I'm going to use 2 moves. In Killer Instinct, if you have
hate that.
100 moves and 98 of them are good, then you're like, well, I got 98 cool moves.
Don't you hate that? I got 5 moves. Okay, 2 of them are really good.
Yeah, so, but then one of them,
use 3.
One of them is bad in this matchup, so I have 1 tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, all right, well, now
that
I'm
was
stuck.
I do remember very early on in this game's development was that for every normal you have and every special, they were like, well, let's give you a reason to use it, and let's try to make everything actually good in some way. Not amazing, but give them good stuff and then reasons to use the other stuff, which is really smart.
I mean, you got to find a reason, right? There's got to be a reason to use a lot of these really cool moves that a lot of these characters
And even
have.
if the reason is just to look cool, that's a good enough reason, because styling and doing unique things in a fighting game is about it all boils down to your character representation.
And that's how you express yourself.
That's how you express
right?
yourself.
Yeah,
in
that's how
fighting
you
games.
express yourself. Like, you know, you don't always have to go for these crazy fancy combos, but sometimes you're just like, oh, let's try it. Let's just see how this makes him feel. You know, so we just had Ultra Arcade's base up in an international match, and we're gonna have another one for you guys in a second here. Ultra Arcade, Mr. Guttermagic, who qualified in the last chance qualifiers yesterday. You see him playing Tusk, a character that he's been enjoying a lot this season.
Tusk is so much fun, man.
Yeah,
and
he's very fun.
Just to boot, he has an ultimate now, and it is awesome. Like, it is probably my favorite one in the whole game.
Yeah, and he's kind of straightforward. He's on the nose, right, Tusk? He's really not super overly complicated, but he does have a lot of fun tools. And in the meantime, his opponent all the way from Japan, Osomatsu, on this Omen. It's a very, very dangerous character.
Omen's been one of those characters on the rise in Season 3. There's been quite a few Omens that have been making appearances while he was somewhat of a joke character back in Season 2.
Yeah, he kind of came out and everybody was like, what is this weird shadow fella?
Weird shadow fella.
What's he on about?
Why
What's
is his name
deal?
Harold?
Yeah. Who's Harold?
Who's Harold?
And what has he done? But he actually has some really interesting stuff. So his fireballs, they come out in random patterns.
Wow, good stuff.
The deflect, yeah, so that's one of the big things that you have to watch out for Tusk. He has that white flash on his normals, and if you get hit during those, you will be deflected and you'll eat a big combo.
Tusk, one of the characters in terms of, one of the bigger things you have to do in this game in terms of punishing is using a heavy button into a shadow move, which is completely unbreakable at the start of a combo. And it is kind of a natural like 15 to 20%. Tusk does so much from his opening heavy punch into shadow swords that it leads to ridiculous damage. We just saw Guttermagic do that, and that is going to be one of the most pivotal punishes in the game.
Activation, and this is where Tusk gets so dangerous. You got to be careful, but shadow form out. Immediate breaker.
Osomatsu bringing this back, was down by quite a bit. Just has to establish the spacing. It can be pretty hard for Tusk to get past all the fireballs, but it's got to be a good fireball because Osomatsu, using Omen, has random fireballs that can go in different directions.
Stuffed. Okay, this is a big chance now for Omen.
Oh.
Medium break. Clutch from Guttermagic. Oh, comes down with the skull splitter.
Just need a little bit more damage. He's going to have to make a guess here.
Does he break?
No commitment. Oh,
the
he
medium
reacted
doubles.
to the mediums.
And he comes down with the shadow, caught him out of the air, clipped the wings.
Oh,
that was a good read.
That was a great read.
Yeah, he knew, like, all right, look, he's going to shadow form on wake up, so I'm going to jump back, medium punch, poke him right out of the air, and that was a super hard call.
It felt like Gutter had that completely under control, and then all of a sudden, Omen started going crazy.
Yeah, he's a very powerful character. He has great neutral buttons, really good fireballs and zoning and stuff, too, so it's a character you got to be scared of. Oh, now he's just going for the air dash pressure here. And Gutter swats him out of the air.
like a big ghostly fly.
Yeah, and that crouching fierce is amazing from Tusky. Huge button. Oh!
Wow!
What a counter breaker.
That was a huge risk from Osomatsu. Like, you do not get a lot of damage from Tusk off the heavy button in the air.
Yeah. And he just counter broke it, and he was right, and comes out of the air with the skull splitter. A huge lead again for Guttermagic. Oh, down fierce, just big swat. Look at the damage it did on Omen's life bar. Look at that life bar.
I think down fierce is like a raw 15%. It's very good.
It's a nice chunk for sure. You don't want to eat all that damage. Pressure now, and Guttermagic was stuck. He couldn't shadow counter because his meter was locked out. That's what Omen's fireballs do while he's in instinct.
Shadow uppercut.
Oh my God! Again! I cannot believe he did it.
It might be muscle memory or something like that because this is ridiculous damage right now.
Oh, and the chase down on the shadow form, the throw big Guttermagic.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
It's looking rough, and the smile on Gutter's face. Oh, he made about 5 good reads there in a row at the end.
There's some very risky breaks from Oso. Well, on those heavy uppercuts, it's kind of similar. Once again, Gutter is picking a character that can DP and then launch you back down to the ground, but counter break at the end to try to make you feel like you need to do something, even though you probably should just not press anything.
You should just hang out.
You should just hang out. Just take that 2%.
And, you know, his face after the second counter breaker was like, come on, guy. You did not do that again.
You get counter broke a second time, and it's like, just end me, dude.
Yeah, because
that
that is a straight 50-50, whether you're going to break or not. Because Tusk can only follow up with a heavy attack.
Yes.
So it can only be a heavy breaker or no break, right?
And that's kind of like, the end-all, be-all in terms of juggle combos where characters have, like, heavy recaptures and stuff. Like, do you think I'm going to do it? It's just a complete 50-50 mind game. And do I think you should break sometimes? Absolutely, but make those very rare. Make it as uncommon as possible if you're going to make a choice of guessing or breaking a 50-50.
Yeah, and I mean, if it's going to lead to everything.
They get 2%, but if you miss it, they get
if you
60.
have like 10% of your first life bar left, go ahead and break.
Go ahead and break, yeah.
But if you're on your second life bar and you're just done so, oh no. But this is a really interesting match, Gargos versus Tusk. You know, so Gargos, he's like a very mobile, airborne character a lot of the times. So it's very important for Guttermagic to have that Fierce on deck. And man, the setups already from Osomatsu, very important to have those meaty setups as Gargos.
Yeah, Gargos is like literally set up the character.
I really like that combo choice from Guttermagic. He had the Fierce, which immediately staggered another skewer.
Wow!
Again!
Oh, God.
Well, Guttermagic.
No.
It feels good to be good, doesn't it? Crouching Fierce, yeah, right out of the air.
He's just getting so much mileage out of that Crouching Fierce. Tries to go for it again.
And just goes directly for the damage. He summons a minion.
Okay, set up Jerry.
Jerry?
Big one's Jerry, little one's Larry.
Larry, yeah, you're right. Oh, and a breaker.
Oh, this is going to really hurt.
Does he break?
Oh, no. This is actually death.
Oh, staggered ender. Wait, Shadow again?
Yeah, that is indeed death. Gutter takes it 3-0 over Osomatsu with an ultimate.
No, the skewer.
The lore is real.
The backstab. And Gargos' face, even on this plane of existence, he has no chance.
I remember the first time I landed that against a guy, he was using Riptor, and you have Riptor's
yeah,
giant raptor face. So yeah, ultimates are pretty cool.
That one.
If getting a supreme victory already wasn't like cementing, like I got it, like you didn't even take a life. Let's just make it even worse.
Oh man, that is rough. And my favorite part, that ultimate, by the way, looks so sick. First of all, because the sword is like all on fire, so he's like running at you. But the best part is the backstab.
Yeah,
and
then you see their face as like, oh,
they just get
my
backstabbed.
life.
Oh, it's the best. It's the best. That ultimate is so sick. It's one of my favorites for sure.
So even in top level Killer Instinct, it can absolutely go in your favor enough to get perfects and supreme victories, and they're going to cement that even more because there's a bunch more ultimates coming.
There's so many, and they're so good. It's like KI is like in a lot of games. It's like, oh yeah, like I beat you. Good games, but in KI it's like I beat you. Here's this ultra. Here's this ultimate, and it's like let me just like show you that I'm the sickest.
I don't think I've actually seen it yet, much less I've ever even tried it on somebody. Imagine getting supreme victory. You have full instinct. You do a full ultra, cancel into instinct, recapture at the end of the ultra. So you're doing 3 ultras.
Is that even?
I'm pretty sure you can because.
Is that how it works?